The Special Investigating Unit says it has proof that former Health Minister Zweli Mkhize and his family benefited from the Digital Vibes contract. Now, the Daily Maverick has revealed some of the money went towards the farm owned by Mkhize's wife. Let's bring you more details on this story and bring in investigative journalist at the Daily Maverick, Pieter-Louis Myburgh. Pieter-Louis, thanks for making time. So the former health minister has been insisting from the beginning that he and his family didn't benefit from the Digital Vibes scandal. But we now know from the SIU report and your work that his son benefited, his daughter-in-law as well. We now know that his house was maintained by money from Digital Vibes, and you are uncovering yesterday that his wife is also entangled here.
Yes, Clement, good afternoon. So this cast of characters around the Mkhize family is certainly widening in terms of individuals who got some of the proceeds of this contract. So these latest revelations kind of emanate from filings that the SIU recently submitted at the Special Tribunal, and we've kind of paired that up with some of the earlier material we've been assessing over the last couple of months, and that really allows us to show how the money actually flows from the Department of Health through all these various kind of alleged slush funds, as they appear to be, and they end up with at places like Dr. Mkhize, former Minister Mkhize's wife, in a loan account that she had, through which she bought a farm a couple of years ago, and it's from the Tala Development Finance Corporation in KZN. And there's also a further payment of about 1 million rand that also went to the Tuse farming venture. That's the Dani Mkhize, former Minister Mkhize's son's entity, more or less in the same stream of payments. So we're looking at about 3 million rand going to May Mkhize and to the Dani Mkhize's entity.
So it looks like there was a carefully structured scheme here, Pieter-Louis, involving business people, associates as well, because from what you were reporting, money flowed from Digital Vibes and it went into an entity, then it went into another private entity before it landed and serviced the loan for Zweli Mkhize's wife's farm. Talk to us through that scheme that was carefully structured, it appears.
Yeah, Clement, I don't think you fall off the mark by calling it a scheme. It certainly seems like a very well-constructed and nefarious plan to move monies from the Department of Health all the way to the ultimate beneficiaries being the Mkhize family. And that, in essence, this is what alleged money laundering does look like. So very rarely would you see a first-tier recipient of corrupt contracts money passing that on to the political people involved directly. There usually is this scheme involving several, sometimes 2, 3, 4 entities who get the money and pass it on to another entity before finally landing with the ultimate recipient. So in this instance, the Department of Health paid monies to Digital Vibes. Digital Vibes forwarded the money to an entity called Mateta Projects. Mateta forwarded to Serela Trading. That is a company headed by a long-time associate of the Mkhize family, Mr. Protis Sokela, who then ultimately made these payments, A, to the loan account for Dr. May Mkhize, and then B, to Sekushle Farming. That's the venture run by the Dani Mkhize.
Yeah, and when she was granted the loan by Itala, there was already controversy even back then when the former minister was, I think, the MEC at the time.
Yes, certainly. Look, this is almost a case of a double scandal, because back in 2006, Zweli Mkhize was still the MEC for finance in KwaZulu-Natal, and the Tala entity, Tala Development Finance Corporation, that fell under the department he was heading in KZN. So there were questions about arm's length and possible dubious influence from Mkhize when Tala decided to make that 11.8 million rand loan to May Mkhize. And now, kind of 15 years later, there's a fresh scandal on the very same loan, because by all appearances, the proceeds of a corrupt contract from the Department of Health goes towards financing this loan all these years later.
Okay, so as it stands right now, how much has Mkhize's family benefited from the Digital Vibes contract, according to the SIU?
Yeah, well, so this is not necessarily according to the SIU. So our tally is kind of, we have a running tally because we've been reporting on this issue since February. Yeah. We have our own set of records and it's now pairing up with theirs. But so we've, in our latest report from today, put the total at 8.7 million rand, which includes those earlier revelations we did about the small little payment for Minister Mkhize's own property upgrades in Bryanston, the car that was bought, the used vehicle for Didani Mkhize, and those payments that went to the nail salon owned by Stockholm Mkhize, that's the daughter-in-law. Now, if we also include all these payments and then the 4 million rand, almost 4 million rand in cash payments that the SIU alleges the Didani Mkhize took from individuals who got Digital Vibes money, we are now sitting with a quantum of 8.7 million rand. That's almost 9 million rand from the 150 million rand contract.